What's good? What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show, man. As promised, we getting ready to get into all the Queen's men. But before we get into this thing, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shiznit that's going down right here, all right? So for tonight, we're going to go ahead and get into Season 3, Episode number 1, titled Deep Cover, all right? So the synopsis for this episode states, Dime and Midnight try to help Amp out of a jam. Doc and Babyface gang up on Fuego. Madam makes Casanova an offer, and trouble comes up with a risky way to prove her loyalty. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this thing. All right, so we kicked this episode off with Amp and Midnight in the dressing room where the whole situation went down with Amp getting it in with old girl. He bumps her head up against one of the hooks in the shower and she's out from there. So they roll her ass up into a carpet or rug or whatnot. And while they're trying to walk her about to drop her out back in the dumpster, Dime comes in. So when Dime comes in, she was like, what the hell is going on? They was like, oh, well, she was back here taking drugs or whatnot. And she was like, oh, the hell... No, the hell, y'all ain't going to try to pull the wool over my eyes. Like, I see this woman rolled up in this rug right now. So y'all need to really tell me what happened. So anyhow, Amp pretty much conveys to her what went down. She was like, what the hell? I'm getting ready to call Madam. So, of course, Midnight is like, look, I've already spoken to Madam. She told us to handle it. And, you know, look, we're just going to take care of it. So they tell her the plan. And she was like, look, it's too damn hot to be putting somebody out there in the dumpster. Like, we already got too much heat around here already. So anyhow, going on from there, while they're in the midst of having that whole little conversation, in walks Trouble. And I mean, literally Trouble. And Ray Sean coming in. And they're like, oh, shit, what's going on? So they tell their asses to get up out. Midnight is already like, look, I'm already on level 10. Like, we need to find out what these folks saw, because if they saw too much, then we need to do what we need to do. Anyhow, he runs outside to check in on them to see what happened, what they saw, and that leaves Dime and that also leaves Amp in there to have their own little conversation. So Amp is like, look, this is prime time for you to do what you need to do, since you want to call the folks on me and get rid of me, because he's still in his feelings right now because of what Dime did in season 2 when she didn't communicate with him. Once again, we're seeing all of these things where people simply don't communicate. And she's like, look, you would have done the same thing with me. He was like, absolutely not. Like, I would have asked you first, like, you know, like any rational person would have. And I need her to understand that, but I also need Amp to understand from her vantage point as well. You hear what I'm saying? So anyhow, going on from there, because we could take all day with that, we see Dime receiving a phone call from D. I don't know if it's Big D or Little D, but anyhow, who cares, man? Anyhow, so he's calling her. He's trying to hook up with her. She was like, look, we ain't got time for that, and you definitely not getting in here. All right? And if you understand what I'm saying, you understand. So he was like, look, you know, I'm just trying to holler at you or whatnot. She said, you already went home with the girl with the yellow dress on. So he was like, damn, you checking for me? Yeah, bro, she already done peeped your gang. Now you coming back over here because you had a job over there, and now you trying to get it over here. And she was like, no, we're not doing all of that, all right? So anyhow, going on from there, we head over to the police station where we see Babyface and Doc, and they are interrogating El Fuego. Now, so he's telling them, look, I don't even know what y'all are talking about. I'm here because of the whole situation that went down with Sandra. Like, I don't know what happened to her. I woke up and whoop, whoop, whoop. They was like, that damn story don't make no damn sense. And they was like, okay, so what is, Davis talking about? He was like, well, pretty much they getting ready to try to charge my ass for her murder. So they was like, no, we don't believe that. So they still don't believe this man in everything that he's trying to tell them. So they at this point, they ready to put them hands on him because they feel like he's betrayed the team, like he's betrayed the family or whatnot. So anyhow, we head back over to the club where we see Trouble trying to get her car started, and Ray Sean's ass is outside. He's panicking right now, like, look, I'm just gonna walk home or I'm gonna get a ride. She was like, look, man, you need to chill out, man. Just Just chill out. We're going to get you home or whatnot. But he is... He is not joking right now. Like, this dude is really trying to get away from the club and get away from this environment. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Why in the hell did he start working at a club? Like, why did he start working at Club Eden with all the shit that he's seen around this club and everything that he's gone through thus far? Like, why is he still around as scary as his ass is? But anyhow, while they're out there in the mist, you know, talking about what went down, and he said, no, I ain't seen shit. She's like, yeah. Now, you know, you seen that body wrapped up in that rug. He was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know. And so while they're in the midst of talking, Midnight comes out, and he says, get y'all ass in the club. So they was like, come on, man, we getting ready to go home. We getting ready to go. He was like, no, y'all getting ready to come back inside the club. So anyhow, we see Madam and Tommy. So they sitting out in the Jeep, and they waiting on Casanova, who jumps in the back of the vehicle. So when he gets in the ride, she was like, what you got for me? He says, well, I really don't have much, but if you can just, you know, I can give you this, I can give you that. And she was like, look, to be quite honest with you, that's not enough for me to, you know, just stop doing what I'm doing. I got enough information on you that I can make you do what I want you to do at this point. Secondly, I got enough money that I can pay you your salary, then some. So how much are they paying you? Because I need somebody that I can trust on the inside. So he was like, so you just want me to throw away my whole career? She was like, look, I don't care what you do, but what I need you to do is to go in there and figure out what's going on. All right. And then she says, go ahead and call the boys off. So as we stated before, the boys are in there. They getting ready to do something strange to El Fuego if he don't get in there and cease this shit. All right. So anyhow, going on from there, we see Blue, who is finally getting her ass up off the ground because remember, she fell up. She fell up out the window after getting shot or whatnot. So we found out that she had on a vest or whatnot, so she's not seriously hurt or anything, but she did fall out of a damn window. By the way, there was a lady that was walking by with her dog and shit, and she was like, look, go ahead and give me that phone. That lady said, you can't take my phone. She was like, I respect my elders. And she was like, I like that dog. And that lady said, well, thank you. And walked. She walked her ass off, man. So anyhow, we see Midnight. Midnight is questioning the hell out of Rayshawn in trouble. Like, what the hell y'all see? And he was like, look, he smacked the hell out of what's his name, Rayshawn, real quick. So Trouble was like, oh, look, we seen that girl wrapped up in the... She started telling every damn thing. So he was like, look, I need to know that I can trust y'all, but I don't feel like I can trust y'all. Y'all better not say nothing. Trouble was like, look, you ain't got to trust me. I'm from the streets. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He said, I don't know if I can trust you or not. She was like, what can I do to prove it to you? All right. So keep that in mind. So going on from there, oh yeah, we see Madam returning back to the crib, but when she returns back to the crib, her house is filled with black ops all over the damn place on her ground, and Tommy's like, what the hell is this? But they are there for her protection because of the whole situation that's going down with Concierge, right? So anyhow, Tommy don't like that shit. As a matter of fact, Joe is talking about he gonna guard the bedroom. Tommy's like, no, I guard the bedroom. See, he really want to get it in with Madam, but Madam ain't going for that. Maybe she'll go for it later. Who knows? Just keep your hopes up, Tommy. Anyhow, going on from there, we see Blue. She has returned back to the crib, and she's calling Tommy. So she was like, look, this whole situation with Concierge has got everybody on level 10 right now. And Tommy's like, yeah, you right now because old girl got everybody at the crib. She was like, for real? He was like, no, you don't want to show up over here because she don't need you. She don't need me. So Blue tells him everything that went down, how she was shot, knocked out the window, whoop, whoop, whoop. She also tells him about the girl she was messing with, who just so happened to be the sister-in-law of Concierge. So he was like, what the... So anyhow, going on from there, we head back over and we see Dime, who is calling Madam to let her know what has transpired over at the club. So Madam tells her to call Blue to handle the situation because right now she got a damn headache and she ain't trying to go nowhere. Plus she got all these black ops around her, so she ain't trying to leave from the premises, all right? She feels protected. Going on from there, Dime calls Blue to tell her to come to the club. Blue is like, what is it? She was like, look, I need you to hurry up and get over to the club. So Blue says, okay, I'll be there in a moment. So anyhow, Midnight still feels some type of way about trouble. So he asked Dime, like, do you need me to take her ass out? Because I don't trust her. Do you trust her? She was like, well, I don't know. He was like, well, I don't trust her. So if we need to take her ass out, then that's exactly what we're going to do, all right? So next we see Detective Davis and Casanova, who happened to meet up in the hallway, and she's talking about, look, we are so very close to closing this case. Like, all these people, she started listing all of these dead people and all these people, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I was like, damn, she got a whole bunch of information. Damn, madam. And so anyhow, he was like, look, what do you need me to do? I just made her, trust me a little bit more. Whoop, whoop, whoop. She was like, look, I need you to give me some more some shit that's really going to stick, because at this point, I'm trying to close this case out. So he was like, well, what about old boy that's locked up? She was like, well, he ain't said shit yet, but I can't really hold him. But I'm hoping that he's going to squeal a little bit later, with everything going down inside the jail, right? So anyhow, he was like, well, we'll figure that out. So he says, well, I got to go ahead and take care of something. And she was like, well, they back there. He was like, yeah, but I ain't gonna go back there. They ain't gonna see me, all right? So now, as we recall, he just had this conversation with Madam. So I'm trying to see, I was really interested to see if he was really getting ready to, back out of the deal or not that he had with Madam potentially, because he said, let me think about it. Or was he going to ride out and do his job, do his duty that he was sworn in for? So obviously we can see to a certain extent where this guy is going with this whole situation, all right? So anyhow, we head back over to the club where we see Blue, who is now coming in. Blue calls Smokey, asking him to come over and bring something by. So, of course, what's his name? Midnight is like, for real, that's what we're going to call Smokey. She was like, look, we trying to clean this shit up. We trying to keep it where it don't fall back on us. So you need to pretty much just trust me, all right? So anyhow, Dime tells Blue that Rayshawn and Trouble actually know about this whole situation as well. So of course Blue is like, okay, well, I'll handle that as well. So I was like, oh shit. So I guess we just have to wait to see how that thing goes down. So anyhow, what do we see next? Oh, yeah, we head back over to the police station where we see Casanova has returned. He tells the officer in the back to separate the fellas. He was like, hey, did Davis tell you to separate the fellas? He was like, no, she didn't. He was like, could you go ahead and do that for me? Because if he does not separate them, some shit is about to go down. And I think we already too late. So anyhow, while the other officer is leaving, Casanova actually pulls up the computer, the database, and he looks in there and sees that they have a lot more information than he thought that they had on Madam. So he calls her up to inform her. So he was like, well, what do you want me to do? She was like, well, can you just erase it? He was like, hold on. Like, he's still thinking about his career. I thought he was going to go towards Madam a little bit, but he's really contemplating like what he needs to do. So in the midst of him contemplating what he needs to do, Madam pretty much has already said her statement and she hangs up. And he's still on the phone like, okay, so what you want me to do? Well, that's when he notices that nobody's on the phone but his ass, all right? So anyhow, going on from there, we see the fellas. They get into it in the jailhouse because they had, obviously they were waiting on the shift change or whatnot. So finally, they have opportunity to do what they need to do, or in other words, what they've been told to do, all right? So anyhow, while, they getting their licks in, Frago is getting his licks in, Babyface is looking out, but he says, oh, hell no, I got to get in here too. So he starts lifting up on his legs and whatnot, and then that's pretty much the end. They try to put his ass to sleep or whatnot. So anyhow, from there, Blue calls Trouble to tell her to return back to the club. Old boy Rayshawn is not having it. He was like, oh no, I gotta be at work. I I got to get up early in the morning. She was like, look, if you don't get your ass over here, and she's saying all of this on speakerphone now. So he was like, look, okay. Trouble's like, look, I'm driving the car right now, so you just going to have to deal with it. All right, we're going back to the club. So anyhow, while they're sitting waiting, now I don't know why they were just casually sitting on the street. It didn't look like they were at a stoplight or anything. It just casually looked like they were just parked somewhere. Don't know why. Anyhow, while they were parked, they saw Midnight's truck being pulled over. Now, while they were at the club, they decided to move the body from the club to a destination, all right? So they placed the body in the back of the truck and he locked it up, all right? But while he was on his way to that destination, he was speeding, obviously, and we find that out from Elm, all right? So when he gets pulled over, he just so happens to get pulled over in front of Rayshawn and Trouble, all right? It was just so ironic, all right? So when he gets pulled over, guess who shows up? David's ass shows up. She's been watching the whole time. So she was like, what you got in the back of the truck? So it was like, ain't nothing in the back of the truck. She was like, well, you need to open it up. Now, see, this is a good time for us to learn the law, all right? And I'm glad that he stood his ground because they didn't have probable cause. I didn't know that, you failing to give a signal, you know what I'm saying, cause you to have to search my vehicle and shit. Like, just give me my citation, give me my ticket, and we can move on. But unfortunately, Davis she's thirsty right now. She's trying to get everything possible that she can possibly get on Club Eden to shut this operation down, all right, by any means necessary. So anyhow, she tells the officer, since he's not going to open the truck. The officer can't get the truck. He was like, well, we need the keys. She was like, well, give me the keys. He was like, no, you're not getting the keys from me. So anyhow, while they're in the midst of that whole little conversation, because it's about to get out of hand, what's her name? Trouble is sitting in the car. And she was like, look, go ahead and buckle up. We about to handle this. So she speeds over. She hits a police car. And she runs out. And they cause this whole dramatic scene. And by the way, guess who's sitting on the side of that? Dime is sitting over there as well, sitting in a parking lot or off the street. And she's watching from behind because she just wanted to make sure that they made it there safely. Now, I don't know why. Maybe she's still feeling guilty about the fact that she did all of this against Amp and he's never been able to recover from it. And he's feeling some type of way towards her because if you recall, he says that I hate you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. But she's still in some sort of way in love with Amp. All right. So anyhow, she calls Blue to tell her everything that's going down. Oh shit, there's a chase. Oh shit, somebody just hit the police car. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So she goes over. Once the police actually flee, Davis goes with them as well. So it's crazy because there was only 2 cars that was actually following behind that slow ass car to begin with. But what happened to the rest of the cars? Because it was more than that pulled up. So anyhow, going on from there, Dime pulls over to get the body out the back of the truck and get the body into the back of her Jeep. And Midnight goes off. Amp jumps in the vehicle with her. Whoop, whoop, whoop. End of the story. Just in case they come back around and want to search the vehicle once again. That was smart. Very good, Dime. I am quite honestly happy that she did decide to follow through. All right, because this could have been a bad situation. I'm also looking at Trouble because Trouble is stated in the synopsis for this episode, did something very risky, and she honestly did. Now with Trouble, she can be a good thing or she can be a bad thing at the same time because she's willing to do anything to be part of a group, to be part of the the elite in the club. So I think that's her angle at this point. But for her to have Rayshawn in the car telling him, look, we're going to run through this gas station and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to put this club down here and we're going to run through the store and we're going to run into a gas tank and blow this up, all right? So Rayshawn, of course, he was like, oh no, what we doing? So anyhow, they blow the car up. And that's pretty much the end of the episode, all right? So we don't know what has happened to Rayshawn. Did he actually get out of the vehicle in time? We know Trouble's ass got out of the vehicle because she was the one planting, the club and whatnot. So she was ready to go on immediate. Now, I don't know about Rayshawn though. So anyhow, we're going to have to stay tuned to episode number 2, which I will have available for you guys tomorrow night. All right. So with that being said, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. This was a quick recap, but I'm glad that I'm caught up and I'm able to start getting these out to you guys. Also be on the lookout for the Shy. I'm also going to release that one tomorrow night as well. So you got a 2-for-1. Sisters come on tomorrow night as well. So I'm gonna be a busy individual for the next couple of days trying to get these recaps, these reviews out to you guys. Also, if you have yet to check out my midweek conversations, that's when I pretty much get you up to date with what I got going on. Also, with this week and probably for the future, I'm going to talk about some of the popular topics that, has transpired over the previous week. Not no gossiping shit, just talking, man, just kicking the bobo with y'all. So anyhow, with that being said, man, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.